bàyyil sa xel tey soo ko kooloon Halifa Sallah ba tey Sidia Jatta nga ne neen maa ngi support Tangara ibe téléphone le solo netuloo ko no
No, they will not.
Okay, so they will not.
They have stood for people that you know that they have worked in Jamaica and Jamaica have incarcerated them. They came to Doi and they wanted.
No, listen.
And they would give them guidance. We cannot abandon our citizens because they have worked for Jamaica. We cannot abandon our citizens because they have worked for Jamaica. That's not how we build a country.
Kemeseng.
Yes.
Have you seen Halifa and what's his name saying anything? Because one of the fundamental, because as much as you know Halifa, I knew Halifa from Jawara days. This is a person of principles. No matter how the wind has changed, they will not waver. This guy coach. Coach ak yëpp num tanga fi mu jàppalaa jàppa te kenn du ko ci génne te coach tey su fekkee ne right now su fekkee ne Tangara dafa ñëwoon sax raam gàmmeen si baalal leen ma duma ko defati du tax coach forgive ko and I'm like that it doesn't make us kafirs but we will know it's not sincere coach lii la fi wax bala nga ñëw mu ne Tangara su fekkoon ne knowing the position he has as somebody who is in the foreign ministry nekk United Nations for Jammeh ak all those things su fekkee ne at that time bi mu reyee prisoners yi Tangara toog na you know what because of my values and my principles lii duma mun a pedal this lie bokkaatuma dina toog fi America sax ñoo ko jox citizenship toog dinañ ko ne because la nga def moo gën waaye la ko jëjee ma mooy déglu ma di same Tangara the same Tangara Yaya Jammeh di ko ekati Gambia di ko ekati na ko demal nga penal ma mu dem penal ko te Tangara xam ne koo xam ne nga ne PhD la docteur la kooku lum dem ta ko tey Tangara was going around the world di penal Yaya Jammeh di ko promote te moom moo gën a xam ne Yaya Jammeh dafa réew.
I have something for you after Tukuloo quickly wala keneen di ñëw
so Kexx li ma bëgg a mooy gis nga léegi-léeg waxtaani ndaje your pride will make you kind of run away from some conversations. Why man as a person, till then you need to be educated because you're supporting somebody you really don't know. Mandama bugan lima la ñaan ngir yalla Kexx. This weekend, call al ko yen ñaar brother to brother. Mu explain la kay Tangara. I know ne once coach tells you about Tangara. I know ne once you know the real Tangara versus who's been shoved down your throat. Kexx, human rights.
Let me to have another belief in Tangara. You know, for me, I'm a man of that belief in laws. I don't believe in what people think about that because that, for me, that's not how we run a country. If that is the case, I can just jump up today and say that Auntie Tukuloo is this thing. Should that make you that? So me, I cannot just say because of coach said this or Auntie Tukuloo said this. We established an institution that look at Jammeh's 22 years of ruling. So you cannot tell me that then that institution is flawed. If you are telling me that Tangara is that institution is flawed.
Okay, Kexx, you
nobody should rely on their reports. That's what you guys are telling me.
Okay,
is it a crime to work when SFL work and other people that we are celebrating today?
Okay, Kexx, me Manyo for 1 second. I just have something to say. Auntie Mariam, if you can let me.
Kexx was on the podium when Halifa were prosecuted. And SFL told them that they should be prosecuted.
No, Hadi Marek, my one.
SFL we are on my mind.
Duka one hadi may marek ñaan la ngir yalla
do affaire li
no man waxuma lool there's a point I want to bring to Kexx ma rapport ma bay len ngeen
do affaire dama buga ne Save Life bi is about Tangara. It's not about UDP, it's not about Doi, it's not about Esa Fall.
Okay, so Hadi, let me just say this before I slip from my mind because it has something to do with Kexx a coach here. Kexx, you keep coming back to legality. Yeah, you keep coming back to the law. Okay? And I'm gonna write putaw fofu. What I'm gonna ask you is, Tangara mi nga xamne mu ngi ut liggéey bi based on his track record. okay, based on his track record, not legally or what lan la ko loi bi naka lañ ko dee waxee convict of or not de, based on his track record, yo, do you believe ne Tangara mi mooy nekk the best person for this job out of the whole people ñi nekk Gambia yëpp, plus besides that ñi nga xam ne ñooñu la moo nekk si rona opami pour ñu jël that position? Do you believe, based on his track record, his history, his work history, do you believe that? I'm waiting.
Kexx mu ngi waxtaan ak jalangam yi.
Suma mic bi off suma mic bi. I don't know.
No, ñu amul sa mic bi de waaye waxal jalang bi moo ko off. Aja.
Well, man, based on what I have seen in regards to what he have done in the foreign service and the ministry at the University of the Gambia when he was a lecturer there, based on his track record, he's very competent to serve that position. And among so far the people that he is contesting, if you go in terms of qualification, his advantage over those people, he's the most qualified person.
Out of the whole Gambia, la njëkka laaj. His track record holistically, one second, his track record holistically, not just one side of his track record, university be akama fanga foreign affairs, holistically, his work history, let's say not even from 20 years ago, no, the last decade, do you think that everybody ñi nekk Gambia ñi nga xam ne principles yi nga xam ne moom la that Commonwealth hold, okay, do you believe this guy is qualified for that? He's the most qualified for that position, that we should all advocate for him to get that job.
Number one, if he's not qualified, he will not be his nomination will not be accepted. So,
okay, so
his nomination being accepted means that he is qualified for the position.
Okay.
Can I comment quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kexx ndoma inimbara. Yeah. Ela kevala msedi li. I'm okay. Yeah. Go. I have a question and a comment. Let me start with the comment. I'm really perplexed by this point that you keep coming back to about legality. Obviously, are you saying that morality is a non-issue? It should only be based on legality. Also, for you, anybody who is not convicted in a court of law, it doesn't matter the person's moral compass. For you, that person can go to any level. Because I know probably that's in the Gambia. I know in most advanced countries, like in this part of the world, morality is very important in certain jobs than even more than qualification. All right? They look at the integrity of somebody. Your records sometimes speaks volumes more than even your qualification. All right? So I'm really baffled when a man of your standing, Kexx, in the way you stood in the fight against dictatorship, and also you want to bring good governance in our country, you keep coming back to this thing, oh, he's not right. So, and this leads me to my question. So today, hypothetically, I don't know whether you will respond to a hypothetical question or not. It's your choice. Hypothetically, if Jammeh, Jammeh has not been tried in any court of law yet, yeah? With all this noise, all the TRLC reports and everything, there are people who are yearning for Jammeh to face justice, but Jammeh has not been tried in the court of law. He's just like Tangara at this point, yeah? So,
no, that's wrong.
No. What I'm saying is, in a way, Jammeh has been indicted. Okay, hold on. Yes, Jammeh has been mentioned adversely in the TRLC.
Not only mentioned, commission is just like a court of law. They have the power of a court of law. Once you are found wanting by a commission of only what can clean you is to go to the court of appeal and clean yourself. Since Jammeh is found by the commission of he's not, and Tangara was not found, you cannot say that they are the same. That's what I wanted to correct.
I have changed the power.
Kexx. Man, how can I Kexx? Why mom get fen?
Kexx, let me land. Allow me to land. Kexx, you're right. Kexx, allow me to land. You're right in that part, compare like for life with Jammeh and Tangara. But what I'm just saying, I'm just mirroring on this idea of somebody hasn't been convicted in a court of law. Yeah, you can say the commission has the same power as a court, but technically, Jammeh has not been convicted yet. Yeah, technically, you know that. Okay.
Diverse mention in a commission of inquiry.
No, advance mention and being convicted are different things.
And make a recommendation that is binding until he appeals.
Kexx, he hasn't been convicted yet.
Okay? It's binding until we appeal, according to the laws of this country.
Okay, so that's fine. So now forget about Jammeh issues. Now let's talk about the moral issue. To you, are you saying everything should just based on legality? Morality is no issue for you? Is that what you said?
I didn't say that, but what we are discussing here, it has to deal with legality that will buy him not to take that position. That's why I care about moral, I care about principle, but here we are talking about legality. Our conversation should be based on...
No,
you're wrong. Okay, Harold, you know what
he pinned it to legality.
You know what Coach said? I don't think he knows the functions of the Commonwealth, because Coach has told you this is an organization that thrives on whatever, good governance and everything. That is about morality. Things that human rights.
Have track records, that's why he's accepted. If he had not been qualified in those sections, he will not be accepted. That's what I'm telling you.
Accepted how? What do you mean by he's accepted?
Your opinion about how you define morality might be defined different from what Commonwealth will have defined it. That's why he's accepted.
You see, let me tell you.
There are conditions attached to before one's nomination will be accepted.
No, Kexx Lamoy, no man Lamoy, in Lamoy, and your Lamoy.
No, you cannot pin it down to your opinion. That's what I'm saying.
Kexx, I don't think you even understand this UN and these organizations, how they even take applications, because you keep talking, he's been nominated. You submit your application, it's received. It has to go on the school, he has to go interview. He hasn't got the job yet, has he?
Yes.
So that he hasn't got it yet. There are other applicants as well. So that you don't understand the whole thing. And secondly, where I'm going to put my point down. Then you can respond. Okay? Kexx, another thing is, you said something here. You are listening about, a lot of people are listening to this live. You said Tangara is competent. Then maybe I don't know the meaning of competent. Okay? Tangara is today the foreign minister of Gambia. Under his watch, about 4 major diplomatic scandals on his watch. That shows his competence. That raises fundamental questions about his competence. The Cuba saga, the American one, and he came.
No,
job is Harold Madana. Because I wouldn't let Kexx come here. No, job is Harold Mapare. Job is Harold Madana. I wouldn't be on this live. Ma deglo Kexx Sanneh wax ne kii dafa competent. Look at what happened in America. And Tangara's interview is, in fact, is a national embarrassment, national disgrace. When he came and said, Li Ada Tuabila is something that is taken seriously in the West, but not here. So that means Gambia, we don't have moral values in our country. This is what Tangara said in his press conference. You talk of America, you talk of Cuba, you talk of Saudi Arabia, you talk of Mauritania, scandals upon scandal on his watch. And you are here telling us this guy is competent as a foreign minister? Other presidents would have sacked him. Other presidents would have sacked him because he hasn't delivered. He hasn't brought the diplomatic people to the highest standards. Okay, that's where I will end. Thank you.
Kexx, dafa am lu ma la buga laaj benn one word. So which means naka brother yaa ngi fine. Congratulations ci suma jabar. Wow. So yow da nga buga wax ne nit ki, a human being waruloo am integrity, moral boo xam ne yow def nga mistake boo xam ne ci sa life dem ba America yaa ngi amoon opportunity to send someone pour mu dem ñu torture ko, even to kill that person, and the Gambian have no right pour issue those issues. Mu ngi dem di represent the entire nation, 2.5 human beings in that country. yow am nga sa opinion waaye ñun li ñoo wax fii mooy integrity and morals yi nga xam ne mooy luwaa nit waxuma la sax luwaa Gambia luwaa human being mu break all that rules yooyu leen yëpp yow nga ne that person moom dina represent human being si nekk Gambia foofu yow di nga support kooku leen Kexx xam naa ne ku nekk am na their own opinion fu la neex nga far waaye suñ la tegalee facts dem ba America di xeexal nit ñi because of Yaya Jammeh dictatorship even in Germany bi nga xam ne ki turam dooree amul kenn ku ko support nga liggéey ci government boobu because of integrity morals ba pare they respect human beings waxuñ ne ñun dem nañ ci level yi kooku de ki nekkoon Germany but liñ daj ci Gambia boobu nga liggéey ci government yi Yaya Jammeh nga gis tooco bi mooda si yow sa boss sax dañ ko rey ñu jël la employé la yow sa moral ak sa integrity sax bañ reyee seen boss boobu mooy the first no thank you pour government bi rey yow sa boss pour yow nga war a jël a job from that government nit ñi fii la ñoo waxee kenn xeetut ko CV yam bi moo tilim moo tax nit ñi di wax.
man 2 minutes. waaw.
ok.
Ko kan la 2 minutes.
Can I wax 2 minutes maa ngi doon wax so lii moo tax nit ñi di wax it's not jealousy it's not hate it's not anything CV bi nga dem di deliver because CV dafa important si nit ci àddinaam moo tax su fooy dem di apply liggéey danga war a bindal lépp loo xam ne soo xasee bool sax danga ko ci war a include te moom CV yam bi waxuma ne 100% it is dirty but 60% of loolu suñ ko xoolee ñun si suñ kanam as a Gambian 60% of that CV is not clean ñun fii la ñoo wax moom su amoon sa 40% dëgga dinañ wax ne ok 60% bi liggéey na ko waaye scale bi moo balance su Kexx te Gambian human being ma génnee Gambian dama general we have to have integrity gom suñ boppa government bum ñu jaral we sacrificing a lot ñuy gis dëgg bi di goma suñ bot bi ne déedéet ne kii liggéey na def na mu ngi ni foreign affairs la nekk scandale yi am yépp ci onda moom gis nga ko mu génn mu defend oo ñoo waxa Gambian public bi it's an embarrassing for us pour ñu am a foreign minister boo xam ne still now he is serving and he is not delivering Kexx nañu xante dëgga ñun fii la ñoo waxee kenn xeetu ko CV about his CV la ñoo wax yow am nga that right su doo nekku sax si constitution bi but as a human being normal human being sa heart bi di bit sa soul bi deret gi di daw si sa yaram gi soo tëddee guddi sax di nga ne li ñii di wax dëgg la de waaye man gisuma ko yow mbuguloo ko gis kenn du la forcer nga gis ko we are talking about the CV of Tangara ñun moom la ñoo wax du personnalité am du lim liggéey ak lim def because CV mooy tax ñu jox la liggéey te CV yam bi is not clean ma muy nga
and Kexx balaa keneen di ñëw Kexx is the morality bi ñoo wax and gis na as Gambians and Africans until and unless ñu commencé di be guided by morality xam nga wax nga fi nga ne yow kon dañoo nekk dëkk boo xam ne is a zombie because ku nekk is going by emotions no xam ne you said I mean I'm not like for verbatim I'm just saying like you alluded to something similar to that right but I think you got the context right but li ma explain mooy until and unless ñu commencé to be guided by these moral principles from leadership suñoo am leaders suñoo taana suñ biir dëkk bi duñ musa jëm kanam yaa ngi understand legally bëgguma fee isi yeneen wax ay ñoom UDP yaka nangam am na yuñ fi defoon yoo xam ne legally they can say it but dafa am lum dee génnee si nit trust bi honesty bi dafa am lu moo shake rek nit ki da nga yaa ngi skew mindset am yaa ngi koo jaxase because ku nekk yàlla am na lu mu def si ñun ñëpp gis nga comme li Hadi wax balaa loi di ñëw yàlla humanity dafa am loi mooy morality bi bu ñoo guide ñun ñëpp once you take that out of humanity we are a lost bunch because man suma loi dëkka tey mun naa different ak loi Nigeria wala loi America waaye morally as human beings the same principles moo ñu war a guide whether you are in Egypt or in Dar es Salaam or in Nigeria you see foofu la kii lose his job seeking kii Tangara mi and he is one of the least qualified in Gambia soo ko buggee teg because of su fekkoon ne ñooñu noonu seen policies it was based on foreign affairs yes then mun nga wax ne it had nothing to do with his job but his job is specifically directly connected with fi mu amee flood in his life mooy democracy ak good governance he failed it F9 so moom loolu lañ ko testé pour liggéeyam bu moo ñëw ni so loolu it's not possible even moom pour mu get in the door if we are talking about if we are looking at his CV correctly ñun foofu la ñoo waaye maa ngi mute gars yi yóbbuwaat nañ ko léegi na keneen ñëw jël maam Lisa yaa ngi noppi moom dem na sax
moom dem na xëy na ñu ko call
dafa am call gars yi dañ ko jox points
man li ma wax mooy gis nga Gambia te naa waxoon naa ko soo gisee ñu nekk fi ñu nekk nii this is the reason why gis nga when it comes to morality ngeen jégal ma si wax bi ñun loolu leen ñaaka morals dañ ko génnee teg ko fale yes mun ngaa def lu la nee as long as daal code bi jàpp la yow you are fine dañ koo bees si code bi di nga gis ku dem sàcca ba pare waaye code bi defu ko dara but morally li dafa bon man mënuma understand it's like Gambian bi nit mu def lu bon nga point ko fi nga ne li nga def dafa bon mu am ku taxaw ne déedéet waaye mu jël utal ko excuse defal ko bot what we're talking about is nothing personal about this man morality the moral behind this thing mooy the wrong thing he is not clean he is not qualified pour mu dem mu represent ñu or represent to be the head of the Commonwealth. It can be any Gambian. Let them bring another Gambian. You said Gambians doing rally behind that person. But this man is not qualified. Because of Gambian. No. We want a Gambian to head that position. But when it comes to Tangara, no. Tangara is not clean. Can clean if we're Tangara mom. When it comes to this position, he is not clean. And let us not go with emotions. Nenko said in a moral, with a moral compass, moral lens. Ñu mëna dem. That is the only way ñu mëna Gambia mu mëna dem. Ku def dara ñu put la to account. Ñu check la out. That is the only way this country can go. We have to put our egos aside. Su nit ñi defee demee lef ñu nekk lef neexu la nga ne yow da ngaa dem right regardless of xam nga ne ñu nekk lef ñooñu ñu si dëgg bi te lii moo yaaxa Gambia suñ politics bi lii moo yaaxa suñ politique Gambia you know man we cannot you have all right Kexx to support this man but yow fi nga ko base ñun tamit am nañ feneen fu ñu ko base morally, he is not qualified.
No, I'm not against you people support. That's why I don't disagree when people are I feel like others are supporting and I also. But I want to make this very clear.
But what we're trying to say is you know what? Morally, when it comes to morality, this guy, he doesn't have it.
That's an opinion. That's what I want.
Okay, and I can say your opinion too. We all are entitled to our own opinions, innit?
You respect them. You don't debate with opinion because that doesn't make it fact. So their opinion is just an opinion.
But you try to make your opinion to be a fact, because that's why everybody is telling you that you don't know who the real Tangara is. They sold you the polished Tangara. They sold you a clean and polished Tangara. That's why.
Nobody sold it for me.
Oh, okay, Kexx. All right. Good luck.
So actually, number one, my track record in terms of standing for the fundamental rights of Gambians, irrespective of whatever happens, is intact, and I will never and ever move from that. But what I will not also accept is that we will just injustly punish people because of our opinion. I will never be part of those type of people that will do that. I will only punish people based on what they have done, not because of somebody have done that. It is in principle in law that you cannot punish a son for the crime of the father. You can only punish a son for the crime of the son.
What do you say about the Native Associate situation that she testified?
Thank you.
What do you say about that?
And that was before the Commission of That's before the Commission of Inquiry, and they had it, and these are people that we believe in. They went to the People's National Bantaba, the National Assembly, that confirmed their appointment to be a commissioner, which all of us participated in it because each constituency is represented by one person. So if that person make a decision, it's whole Gambia that make a decision. And they have made their finding, they came with their report. They have not said a single thing regards to that. Whatever they have done, their investigation, their staff association is her version of the story. The commission, whatever the investigation they have made, whatever the investigation they have made, and they didn't come with any. They have not come with anything. Law will have interdicted Tangara. We have not seen in the report, so we will believe that the commission have looked into the matter and they didn't see merit or whatever. I cannot speak on their behalf, but what I can speak on is what I see on the paper, and I have not seen that on the paper. So unless we tell you that the commissions were biased, if you guys want to accept that, why they didn't put it there? Are you going to tell me that the commissions were biased? The whole TRC was biased?
But Kexx, what you are refusing to hear from us or understand is that we are not basing this on a commission or basing it on...
No, it's what you present there, it was before the commission, so that's what I'm saying. And the commission was there to listen to everybody, and once they listen, they will find their investigation and come with a report, and comes with a recommendation in terms of what should be done. And we all see the recommendation. It's a public document now.
Every single detail that was mentioned in that commission, probably only 5% of what was, this is anecdotal, 5% of what was mentioned in that commission, in the TRRC was probably mentioned in that commission as what do you call it, as people that need to be punished. Even the people, some people that actually were involved in killings were actually let go in a way. Up to today, Adam Barrow, government, not a single person, you're in the court, you convict la. So for me...
No, but they are establishing the courts just now. It's a process. The court has already been established.
For me, those documents, those commissions, right, is irrelevant to you Gambians in life, because guess what? They have not followed through in anything. You understand? So it's not even a starter for us to life. Once again,
maybe you don't understand. You are not in the picture. But when after the commission was done, they present their reports to the cabinet, and the cabinet now they established what we call a criminal special division court with the international communities.
We know that. We know that. Brother Kexx, how much is no lecture boy?
One second.
Kexx Dugasina, I'm not believe we respect that. Why not could debate in a nice way? You
it's a debate. I was talking actually. It's a debate. Okay. Let's not get emotional. Let's just debate it out. We believe in our strength in when it comes to like our intellectual capabilities. So munenyo expressing bopa and debate it out. And at the end, Kexx doesn't need to agree with us, and we don't need to agree with him. But nit ñi déglu ori coach li mu wax mu ne wax bu déggu ku ko dégga di nga xam lana make sense. am na nu ko waxee I can't even remember, but anyways, you guys got the picture. But what I'm saying to Kexx mooy for me ak ñun ñu fi toog yëpp ñun we are not basing li ñoo wax li ñoo debunk kii Tangara pour ne he is actually, so if you ask me, he's actually one of the least qualified people who take this job. And I'm going to base it, because you're going to leave opinion. No, this is not an opinion. I'm going to base it on facts. Facts be moilan. Okay? The job requirements, put your uphold democratic principles, good governance along 53 or 54 countries. You guys can correct me. I can't remember the number. Okay? So this guy, this 54, this guy, liggéey na ak dictator. That's a fact. You cannot debunk that. That's a fact. Okay? And the dictator that he was working with, if his principles are aligned with the principles of that organization, the Commonwealth, then it would have canceled out the job that he had with Jammeh at some point. Even if it means year 2 or year 3, third year, we realize that actually my principles don't go with this. You see what I'm saying, Kexx? So at some point in his life, whether in second month or fifth month or whatever, am na atrocities yoo xam ne xew na moom waroon naa identify in his mind. That's why people are conscious. That's why you have a mind to think. Okay, my morals and my principles, it conflicts with this guy that I work for. Hence, I'm not going to continue to work for him. That's the decision that you have to do morally. Now, it's not a legal decision where it's illegal to work with this guy. No, morally, I can't work with this guy. You see? Because if you morally work with this guy, this can haunt you for your future. And you we have to be guided by our moral principles. Not just the Quran or legality, the government, no. You are born with that. You nurture it. And that's what I'm saying. Mom, bim continue ak Jammeh. Sila cancel out that part of him. Amatut. So tay bu demé né mu ngi ut liggéey bobu and mu present bobu xamné he is the most qualified for that. When in fact mu ngi don def direct conflict ak lolu years ago with another guy. Te mutu sa 2 decades ñu né nañ ko balal because life of the ku nek I make mistake and stuff. This is very recent. 8 years ago. This is the point that we are trying to make. Ne, in fact, crucify, no, but we are saying he is not deserving of that job because morally he is the least qualified for that job. That is the point of my argument, and I think a lot of us here.
I'm the way you are pinning down in terms of the disqualification. It's not what is required. So I had dictatorship. The person he will be succeeded in October, where he will be elected as the Secretary General of Commonwealth, is more dictator than any other person, Paul Kagame of Rwanda. So, that person has done what nobody could have accepted, but he have been qualified to serve that position.
And as human beings, we should all judge each other based on
not saying that
the worst person,
I'm saying that
or the lowest bar. No, hold on,
No.
but I'm going to debunk
Your opinion that's what I'm saying.
Because
the way you are measuring that one might not be the bar that these people are standing. That's what I'm saying.
Haral. Yo, use nga 1 yardstick. Ngawa about somebody else. It's another political leader. Yeah? And that's not the point of this discussion, but so I'm going to then ngawa hati Kigali. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, as a society, should we now look at the lowest of the bunch? And excuse me for saying that to whoever, whatever, I'm just saying.
You are not getting my point. This is why I'm not saying that because the qualification that you are saying, for you, the qualification that you are saying, that's what I'm telling you. That's not the standard or the bar. So for you,
it is the standard. It is the standard.
No, it's not. It's not what these people are looking at. If that is the case, how you define it, then Paul Kagame will not be there. That's what I'm telling you.
But if his people got up and did the same thing, maybe he will not be there. So morally, I'm the authority, I'm the right. Joke when there's something going wrong, even if it's not illegal yet, but if it's morally wrong, okay, we should all denounce it because none now daily society will elevate to another level. But if you say that this person did it, so therefore I can do it too, or this person that is wrong. That's what I'm saying to you. We cannot use that to measure what we are saying.
I'm not even measuring that day. I'm giving you the way you think that
you are measuring that day.
That's what I'm actually telling you. The way you are actually, that's what I'm telling you.
Not telling you, Mansonana. You are measuring that day, Kexx.
Let me correct Kexx because this is a live program. He made a misleading remark. Paul Kagame is not the Secretary General of Commonwealth. He's the
No,
chairman.
it's
He's
a
the
woman.
chair of the office.
Yeah, it's Patricia something.
So be very careful, Kexx. The Commonwealth
No,
Secretary
that's a slip of the tongue. No, actually, that's a slip of the tongue.
Yeah. So Hanga Paul Kagame, he's a dictator, but he's president, and these are rotational country. That one is going to be very hard for them to not give it to him when his country. He's the president of so he's not the Secretary General of the Commonwealth. So let's not mislead people. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm a law, and we should be nice with Kexx. Film ne kani Kexx la suma jabar defara defal na la ko bi la
Kexx Hadi yow
No,
bàyyil Kexx.
Hadi bàyyi with the way.
Mane no brother Kexx la suma jabar togal tay ak lo naan
Melen ma ñëw guys. Kexx appreciate nañ la li nga ñëw because xam nga ne you were coming into the lion's den.
Wow.
Yet you came and supported yourself and you were calm.
I'm going to I'm into this platform. This is not the first time we are in divergent views. We have always been in divergent views, and it doesn't change my position with them. I love them as a comrade.
That's the beauty of democracy. The beauty of democracy, Moy, we can have divergent views, but not be condescending towards each other. am na ñoo xam ne side bi nga nekk fa lañ nekk because of their guilt of being on the right side of wrong side of history ñu ngi toog di ñu tuumaal di ñu xas yow ku la gën a dëgër boppa Kexx amut waaye nekk nga ki ci sa wol bi ngay xeex pour kii ngay xeex pour Tangara waaye nekkuloo di fa gaaruwaale kenn nekkuloo di fa xeex a kenn nit ki su fekkee ne gom nga dara jàppal fi nga gom nga xeex sa xeex te bul dem ni ñàpp si kaw the other side di leen sewloo di leen tuutiloo if you feel guilty about if your morality yow sa boppa in your heart if you know that you have done something immoral that is the person foo xam ne di nga toog si sa Facebook di sa TikTok si sa fu nekk nga toog di gaaruwaale nit ñi di leen xas man de is one thing man su ma demee suma wol bi affaire Tangara li ma fa binda yëpp li ma xam si Tangara loolu laa fa binda te the reason why I feel strongly about educating and every day I will write piece by piece about Tangara. I am petrified today Gambia's social media today we have a lot of people who do not know about the past. They do not know about the past and they sit there and fight about the present. Those are dangerous people. There are people who were part of the past, who were victimized by Yaya Jammeh, whose family members were victimized by Yaya Jammeh. Te ñooñu, like Coach Pasamba Jaw said, ñoom li leen dugal ci xeex bi mooy seen ulala, and they've decided not to be part of the fight. I respect them. But that doesn't mean that they need to disrespect me for refusing to give up on my morals.
Absolutely.
Another thing I'm going to say. ñu ne su doon na suñ mbokk yi la. konoon duñ def li ñoo def. Ami Bojang Sissoho. Suma yaay lañ ko tuddee. Papaam ak suma papa suma yaay. ñoo bokk benn baay. waaye ñooñu duñ doomi ndey. duñ doomi baay doomi ndey lañ. ci Hata Bojang suma maam. moo ko am moo sikk suma maam bi moo dee sax. si Hata bi moo dee. suma maam mu ngi feebar ñoo xam ne suñ ko xee suma maam rek. dina ko rey be suma maam dee xamul ne see Hata Bojang dee na Ami Bojang ku ko laal dina def ku ko laal mun naa def suma life on kon yow waroon nga xam ne tey kon kooku mu ngi liggéey on kii Adama Barrow kon man su doonee fi mbokk la dinaa toog ne hee déedéet xaaral bu ma def dara loo xam ne dina jeopardize jobi Ami waaye Ami def ma respect for who I am. Have any one of you ever seen Ami come to my wall and say anything? You'll never see it.
She's another incompetent person, Ami Bojang.
Let me land. I was on her wall with something about, we were mad at Barrow and she posted something about Barrow. Madam for the whole mom. Banka mane mona hey Tole. Stop doing that. So chala back off. So man, or anybody on this platform. Juga Cissé used to say it, mu ne moom ñi mbokk ndee baay sax su fekkee ne tey dem nañ toppa Yaya Jammeh dina génn si sa ron tey Adama Barrow immoralities yu moo def mbokkam ci nekkee dina jóg wax ko. That's who we are. We are consistent in our advocacy. We are consistent in our activism. We do not need anything from anyone in the Gambia. We are self-sufficient. We do not kiss up to politicians. We do not kiss up to systems simply because we want to advance our agendas. The only people that can do that are the people who really love country. To fake ne yo jog nga ne sa deka nga gis do gis ken gannaaw sa deka. Why UDP? Fight with them tooth and nail. 2017, when they were still with Barrow, they called me DSS. Today, those people are my friends and they respect me today. Niki su feke ne degu nga degul. Nini liñ la wax nak bum la naxari. Because liñ lib la wax, their own personal guilt is what get them to utter those words. It is not about us. Coach Pastor Majay tey diga daf ma yóbbu foo xam ne I appreciate it. Te Kexx lena la wax Kexx. Ci nga jàppa loolu nga believe ko. But at the end of the day, bu nangu kenn yóbbuwaale la down the drain because yow fi nga taxaw yow yaa ngi taxaw ne okay man lii laa foog emal yow stay in your lane, don't let anybody drag you into their dirty lanes. Because so gisee juka, because there is one thing, gis nga bara was go be, then you could accuse ne ñun we are not democratic, blah blah blah. But Juka actually brought you here and Juka made sure you were protected. That is what good people do. And you came, we all jumped on you, even your own brother from Doi. Yen wa Doi, Dolende amongst yourselves. Even Coach Jamom, you debated out of respect. So Kexx, I'm saying to you, thank you for coming to this platform, knowing that you're line. When we hold on to something, we go crazy. But you came here because of our values and our principles. We debated with you. So we appreciate what you did.
And also, we do it, and we do it with respect. Even though we can say that means when we see something, amu dara lu ñu mëna distract liñ gis gom liñ nekk lañ nekk donte ñëpp dañoo rey wala dañoo saaga dañoo xas. But when people come here on this platform and they want to debate constructively, respectfully, without going into personalities, ñun dinañ la déglu waaye yow tamit dinañ def the same thing ak yow ba nga xam ne duñ nangu kenn attaque la wala ñu attaque la outside of context bi ñoo amee di debate because nit ku amul xam-xam rek nit koo xam ne sa xel bi doyut rek yow yaay debate di dem into personality di saaga nit di dëkkal nit fu ñu dëkkut wala ngay dem so emotional. Just if you're smart and you believe in your intelligence, just carry the conversation. And loolu lañ nekk di def, so ñu ngi laa wax jërëjëf and you have handled yourself well, even though I still don't agree with you.
Absolutely. No, thank you very much.
You can respond to me as I go. Let me just put this point across, then you can just respond. There is one point that Juga asked you about the Tafasose issue, and the response you gave is that the TRRC report did not indict him. I think you should know there is no report in this world which is all-inclusive when it comes to witnesses' testimonies. It cannot be all-encompassing. But what you should also realize is TRRC gave recommendations. They summarized because there are a lot of witnesses there that went there, and not everybody's statement can be in the report. But they did not also dispel. The TRRC report did not also dispel what she said. Yes. So that means they now leave it to the people to decide, whatever. If at all the TRRC report had conclusively said, based on their investigations, that allegation did not stand, then you can refute it. But they did not say that, Kexx. So I just want you to factor that in mind, because the way you are sounding is because it's not in the report. So he is clean on that allegation. That doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen.
I said it's not established yet. That's what I said.
But you cannot also say it hasn't happened because the TRC report is silent on it. Okay?
I didn't say that.
And many things happened in that report that were not really actually even addressed.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Precisely. All right. So thank you very much, Auntie Tukurul. Come no go ahead, and all of you guys. First of all, man, when I'm doing things, I do it first of all for the interest of this country, because I believe that together we can all build a country that all of us will be proud of. And Sufegen is struggle that we all have struggled in terms of bringing what we are today, Monica democracy, we enjoy. And each and every Gambian man believe now have contributed one way or the other in terms of Alunyo. And people thinking that they are so supported anything that has to do with government, like you are either bribed or you are given money. If that was the case, I think I would be among the first people in Yohamna that will be appointed in this government, because my efforts were there for everybody to see in Yohamna they were following the struggle since the day one. And when the campaign of Adama Barrow came, and 14 days I was sleeping on top of a gele campaign with the Barrow. 2 days before we finished the election, the accident then happens around Banjul, Bunoy Aduga Biri Banjul. I was the one, 14 days I was sleeping with the victims at Edward Francis Teaching Hospital on a dry chair. All this impasse here, left my fake man, my Banjul Hospital be, and I sleep with these people, you know, on the dry chair. And after that, there's nobody called Hamne Hamud Man. I took those victims because 2 of them has a complication and they need an overseas treatment. I took them to Kairaba, to Baro Matoga, and these 2 people need an overseas treatment, and he recognized me from there. Mujoma Aissatou Touré Munema, let me work with Aissatou Touré. Aissatou Touré Bolema, Bolandim Bojang, for those people to be keep up. So if I wanted a position at that material time, I would have just gone and lobbied for a position. And even after that, I was invited on several occasions on State House. But I believe that the principle that I have and what binds us together, these people didn't actually respect that. And based on my principle, I said I will not work with these people. And the second occasion time you invite me, and I was offered to be the youth coordinator of CRR with at least a pickup and a huge amount of money, basic salary. I could have just taken it and I keep quiet. But because of why I didn't do that, I believe in a principle. I believe that we fought for something that we didn't achieve yet, and we are not achieving it under Barrow, and this is why I decline all those things. When I was going for Nyamina West parliamentary election, these people approached me to contest under an MPP ticket. And I know that if I contest under that ticket, I would have won, because Doi has never contested in Nyamina West. So I will be the first person to contest under a Doi ticket, but I refuse because I believe in a principle. And those are the things that I believe in. So to say that because of people are paid and that's why people actually go there, no, people have divergent views, and we must accept that we cannot all agree on things. There are things that we agree on these things, and we all came here and argue. But you can see it differently, I can see it differently. And I think that the way I see that's what I explained here, that I cannot actually punish people because of somebody's actually what somebody has done. I will punish people based on what they have done. And when the TRRC was done, you could see my article the last day when TRRC they were ready. I said that all those who are found wanting must face the full force of the law, and we'll be here to make sure that that happens. And that's still my position. And for me, there's nothing that Barrow government has done that will make me to support Barrow government for now. So far, what I've seen is far different from what we have fought for, that we all come together and fight for. And that's my position. But that doesn't mean that today I'm actually supporting Tangara and Tangara is in a government. No, that's not who I am. I have seen people that are there. When Barrow lifted the ban on the people that are found, the Commission of Inquiry, I went to court, and my case is before the court to sue the Minister of Justice to court and the National Assembly, the clerk of the National Assembly. And I'm the first plaintiff in that case to say that Barrow doesn't have power, where a Commission of Inquiry found people wanting to pardon them because he wants them to bring political support for him. And my case is there. And the person that I sued court was my close friend at that time, because he was the part of people that benefited from that pardon. And today he's not talking to me. But for me, it's not about friendship when it's come to the nation here. And that case is before the Supreme Court of the Gambia, where I filed a case against the Minister of Justice and the Clerk of the National Assembly. So my integrity and my position in terms of the law for this country, nobody can question it. But because of I disagree with you people here today, and I see other people are saying I'm disappointed, for me, you know, it doesn't matter to me. Those things are very irrelevant because my conscience is guiding me, and I know that I'm straight. So your opinion, regardless about me, doesn't matter. And my brother was on the platform. Let's disagree and agree. You said that because Kexx is on the platform, I'm going down. Going down, it doesn't affect me because I didn't even notice that you were on the platform. But I believe that you can convince me when you allow me to hear from me and I hear from you. That's how you build a nation. we must have divergent views and agree on this. That's why on my platform, I always criticize.
No, because
no, sorry.
Important. Mom, important. No.
That's why I'm making it.
No. Would you guys stop?
boy.
Yeah.
Let nobody change you. Nobody will change me. They don't advise me. Let nobody change me in regards to the law code and explain it. How my position.
Why, bro? No, disappointed in you. You can have a conversation with that person because of Hedna Koku, that fla put on in with high regards. You understand what I'm saying? But you bull neck of
because you have a divergent view with me, that doesn't mean that you should be disappointed in me.
Can I talk? I've been keeping quiet for 7 hours.
Melen text Daniel because he na opinion.
So, man, that's my issue, right? But I didn't I'm not supporting Tangara because I'm not supporting Tangara because he works with Adama Barrow's government. I'm supporting.
Jabaram wax nako mu nop. Nene duga fi. Jabaram ne yaangi
organization. Yeah.
I'm not sure, right?
My support is not based on because of he works with the government.
Mane, Jabaram, I'm not sure, right? So dege yena nge yu hujjakaram dina ko wax ne nopil te suma don Kexx dama nopi.
am naa moo tax mu ne ko te jox ma téléphone gi. Kexx waxal
Kexx dafa am jeeg si booram so léegi da ngeen ko war a traité different nekkaatul célibataire. nekk di ko yuuxu rek.
So loolu rek la like li ma wax rek man like there is nothing motivated in regards to these things. I think that we have a country and we must have divergent views. All of us cannot agree on the same thing, but when we disagree, let's just debate constructively and understand it. You have to make me convince me. All along when I was on my platform, people come there, they call me dog, they pay you. I have never returned the insult because I feel like that's your level and I will never go to your level to insult you. For me, you have to convince me that's my position. And even in this platform, whoever disagree with me, that's your position and I respect it and I will never. And all of you who are supporting, it's your right to support, to disagree with Tangara's nomination for this position or his candidature in this position, and that's your right. And nobody can take it from me. Also, my right is to say that I have not seen it in that angle, I see it in this angle. And that's the only disagreement. But at the end of that, we are all Gambians and we all yearn for a better Gambia that our children can be proud of.
Inshallah.
Kexx, you know we love you. You always come, and when we need you for information, you are the person we contact. Let's make that clear.
Why Kexx bayagun la de na nene ñu
bayagun ko de legi nene yangi ni sa broda la nene bu ko farlal de yow jox na la platform bi.
I have a question for you after nene acha.
No man suma waxe ba pare Kexx dafa dem suma jabar mu ko xaar dafa guddi. Kexx dafa dem lan la
and first in the morning I need to go.
Man duma mëna takka jabar ba pare may ko toroxal suma waxe ba pare Kexx dafa dem.
Nene dedet anti tukul
ñoom rasta ñu ngi bëgg a laaj
Kexx dama gudde
mane mun nañ ko laaj another time Kexx dafa dem
way nene yow tamit
no nene jaaji de
nene relax
nene yow may sa place
wala am problème léegi naa may ñaari nit ñu wax rek Kexx mu dem ñaari nit man mun naa noppi afterwards moo continuer man fi léegi na ñaari nit wax Kexx mu dem
nene bii du family thing Kexx liñ ko laaj yow it di nga ko laaj sa point of view bii du family thing
sa mindset bala
déedéet ma mënul
mindset gata
nene waxal man mun naa
nene jëla sa platform nene jëla sa parole bi rek mu ne sa mindset la
na ñëw Nene bul worry
déglul
we are discussing about
man ma Kexx ñoo dégg naa xuloo te dégg respect naa view si Kexx waaye agree ma ak view sami at all. I you know I'm really I beg to differ respectfully but gis nga man I wanna focus more comme anti tukulóor touch on that man loolu lay focus on because Kexx knows where I stand, right? So there is no need to even debate Kexx on those points again. Agree and view sami respect nako. But my point here is what I am amazed more is mu ngi debate and trying to advocate for mom lim belief on respectfully and pushing on issues whether nit yi jël nañ ko or jëluñ ko without castigating anybody, without belittling anybody, or without calling anybody names. That is what is called a debate. You debate based on issues, but when you lack issues, then you take it to personality. And I see that happening. And it's man, I'm not disappointed, because from day one, man, I believe that some people were fighting for self. It was not for anybody else. Man, I believe that some people were not fighting for me. I fought for myself, because it was themselves that they were fighting for. All the shouting, the yelling, the bashing, it was to liberate themselves. And when they got what they wanted, now they have hush and now supporting what favors them. It's okay. It just speaks of their character. It just speaks of who they are. It just speaks of their beliefs. And you know what? Be my guest. I really don't give a flying fuck. But then, what I always want to tell people is, right, until today, we're talking about, we plan to set up courts, we plan to do judges, it's been what, 2016, 2017, a new dispensation came in play. It's 2024, nothing has happened yet, and victims are still waiting, and majority of them have died, and they still continue to die. Man, poor man, that is my biggest pain and disappointment in this whole thing. And you still have people who have the audacity to open their mouths and support people who did nothing when they were needed the most. Poor man, it pains me. Okay, man, I am not a victim at all. So this mom because I was affected in Yaya Jammeh time, I don't even know about it. So if I don't know about it, maybe you're a distant relative or whatever. But by virtue of my Gambianness, I consider myself a victim, because you have thousands of people who are victims that I know personally or close to, or I can point my fingers to them. So by that fact, I consider myself a victim, and I feel the victim deserves justice. And out of respect for the victim, if we're advocating based on our beliefs for somebody else, for things that affect some people that are still waiting for justice, let's be considerate. Let's be remorseful. Let's be considerate for their plights, because there are certain utterances, Burman, I call it dishonesty, disrespect, and utter lack of consideration and remorse for the victims. We really need to be careful, because now, when we start bringing all these things, it's like we're bringing old wounds. The people that are watching us, that are affected directly, they're listening. You are trying to shove it on their face and like, we really don't care about you. All we care is the people that have the capacity to get out there and enjoy. It's about them. It's unfair. Purman, that is unfair. I liked when Coach was asking those direct questions to Kexx, right? I love those direct questions, because those are questions nobody can refute it. Nobody can say no to that. I did not expect any of those answers to be no.
Yep.
It was very, 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 very direct. Do you believe Yaya Jammeh was a dictator?
Yes.
It's an open secret. The answer was yes. Do you believe in all the things that happened? The answer was yes. So if the answer was yes to all those questions, anything that has to do with it, we have to tread with caution. We have to tread with caution. At the end of the day, man, I do not see any legality in this. I still beg to differ with you. I see no legality in this thing, right? Okay? At the end of the day, there are criteria. It's not a matter of the school you went to. It's not a matter of the degree you have. It's not a matter of who was your teacher. It's not a matter of under who you served. The criteria of what the job entails, what you're supposed to do. Man, as a person, if I had worked under a dictator who has killed and disappeared, and tortured and silenced thousands and thousands and thousands of people in your country, and I worked for you and said nothing, man, I will be ashamed to go and take a position that is talking about democracy, human rights, rule of law. I will not do it. And that's where the morality thing it's coming from. Not legality. You have the qualification, and the job is saying you need to be blue, you need to be short, you need to be fat, you need to be plumpy. That's what you need to have the job. If you're short and blue and plumpy, of course, it's a qualification for you to get the job. But it goes beyond that. Hey, English Bimune, it takes results to get you inside the room. It doesn't stop there. But it takes character to keep you inside the room. Now, if your results gets you in the room, do you have the character to stay in the room? That's the question. Let's be careful as a people. You Gambian, we are so gullible. We are so naive. And when I see Nelulsa, it's an understatement. We are just outright wicked, self-centered. We think about ourselves. As far as it affects you, the wrong will change. You will remove the Y or remove the R. Even though it's spelled WRONG, but because it affects you or somebody close to you, you want to remove the G and still spell it wrong, or you remove the R and still spell it wrong. And you want to force that on people, it's still wrong. I'm spelling it wrong when the spelling is incorrect. It's not a matter of the issues here. It's a matter of who is affected. Lowering this across the board. And that's why we are where we are now, and we'll continue with where, unless we have the mindset change. And people are honest to ourselves first, and honest to issues. It disheartens me. It disheartens me. Now, anybody, especially the people that Madifati has, Madifati, who is Madifati? Madi Jobate has fought for tooth and nail, has spoken on your behalf. On every platform, everywhere, this man can go to and do. So you have people today look at Madi and say, Madi is what? What is the word I saw people, some people, ungrateful, grudge, and the other one, wicked. Those what describes you all. Back to sender. It describes the ones that are saying it.
I'm on a call.
No, those things pain me. Sister Juka, those things pain me. Describe somebody else with those words, but not Madi Jabate. Come on now. As Bara will say, Muntu male dibo dunta fambuka nyo sute. Tol nyabe yereling.
Wallahi.
Tol nyabe yereling. What are we talking about? It's unfair. It is really, really unfair. And it's outright dishonesty. I mean, disagree with a man. We all know Madi has his opinions. Do I agree with Madi's stance all the time? Possibly not. But you know what? Most of the times I do. But it cannot be all the time. Right? And that is what a civilized society will do. You always have to have divergent views, dissenting views, so that we can progress as a society. We challenge each other. We push each other. But just because you don't agree with me, you start calling me names. Like Pastor will say, Suma ya gola la suma papa mbam la. And man maneka nit. Suma golo ak mbam jule, handa na maneka mbam monkey. Lola wara neka, duma muna neka nit. Why still you want to force it in the lolo amut? You know? And we still call ourselves, then gom yala, Muslim banko, then yo juli, then yo li. And you, everything that you do, the air that you even breathe in is corrupt. The food that you eat is full of corruption. The words that you utter is all deceitfulness. And you want to put that on somebody else. And you want people to sit and do it. Then you are equally dishonest and you are unfair to yourself, much more to the man himself. But that one pains me. It pains me. And we should not watch it. Because what happens is we are allowing people, you understand, to go so hard on this man who is like Pasamba said, when you say, okay, the honest people in this society, people that you can say, okay, you can trust with things. Madi Jobate, Coach Pasamba, Kanati, Tukulor, Juka, Juka Bokut. Wow. Don't honest to me. Why like Loko? Okay, Gahalatat, Kexx, did the way Kexx doy boka, did Doko Chibola, Kexx doy boka, Boko do get a packman support my dog, they must support my dog. Sing steadily, did sing steadily, UDP, you know, man like my UDP. This is how we judge people. Because we don't like where they belong, we don't like what they stand for, we don't like how they look, so we disqualify them. That's wrong. That's wrong.
And Nene, Coach said something. He said that if we need to figure out how many honest people we have in that country, or count the number of honest activists or honest people, then we have a fundamental problem in that country.
That hit me, Juka. That hit me when Coach said that.
It's almost like if you have a friend, if you meet a white person and you say they are racist, it happened to us before, and they were like, no, I have 2 black friends. I'm like, the moment you start counting how many black people you know, then that's a problem.
Exactly. But anyway, this is the thing. But again, I just wanted to make a disclaimer. The BMG platform, you know, because what happens if people are trying so hard to discredit the platform. So I just wouldn't want anybody to just run with the notion, oh, Kexx for them tay, I know you will not say that because you're open-minded. You have a progressive mind. You think like, you know, different from so many people who scramble for issues to discuss and things like that. You will not. but they will try to twist things up. And you know what? Let me make a disclaimer. A lot of people were not talking about this issue, but because we've talked about it on BMG, trust me, the next few seconds, peep around, you'll see everybody talking about, and everybody will be for Tangara and against our position because we talk about it. Take this to the bank. Take it to the bank.
Nene, you're too late. It already happened.
well, I guess you guys kept me too long and I did not talk. Thank you very much.
It's already starting. That's crazy.
Nene yaa ngi ñëw nag wax ba pare laajuloo sa xam nga lii laa leen ne yëfi mbokk yaa yi te yaa ngi ko wax léegi yaa ngi ñëw wax Madi laajuloo Kexx benn gis nga sa mindset
Hadijatu man dama sey bi suma rakala may Kexx duma laaj Kexx fii su guddi si ñu paak suma doom mu ñibbi duma ko def maa bañ
mindset gala
waaw maa bañ
Kexx comme li Nene wax rek yow xam nga ne suñ broda nga so comme li Nene wax because munoon nga ñëw fii ñëpp ñoom coach ñoom waa Yellow Fever man mi Juka Maam Lisa anti tukulóor sa yaay ji moom mu si suuf rek di binda why you came here to debate te respect nañ li nga believe ñun lii lañ dee bugga liñ bañ mooy people to come up and disrespect people soo ñëwee fii you didn't attack anyone let me make that clear you were here to say sa belief pointuloo finger in anybody waxuloo ne diw lii diw lale wala sangam and this is what we want from people munoon nga gaaw ne xaaral ma wàcca dama busy but still now soo buggee dem ñu ne la déedéet ñu ngi am question plateforme bi pour loolu la ñu ñëw debate ñu waxtaan respectfully we don't want to attack anybody koo xam ne bokkul si debate bi wala whatsoever and we respect you te yow sax yow kenn du wax ci sa yow because ñun saa yuñ buggee wax wala loo xam ne am nañ doubt we contact you nga clarify tegal ñu ko ci pour people to know Kexx didn't come here wala ñu isi ko up dafa ñëw gis na dugg na suñ plateforme bi te dafa am lim believe ci lim gom ñun tamit ñu am suñ gom and he came here bossam coach puus na ko to the wall mu taxaw rek dëgër na ko déedéet yaa ngi understand suma boss nga waaye manit suma opinion la lii la respectfully lii mooy ñun suñ plateforme bi koo xam ne nag mun ngaa ñëw fii to debate like Kexx te bii du benn yoon sax pour mu ñëw ñu jàpp ko kii wax fii kii wax fale so we wanna thank you Kexx def nga sa liggéey as yow li nga oote ci Facebook bi comme li Nene wax léegi dafa tanga nga ñëw di back and forward with them you never disrespected anyone te lii mooy yóbbu dëkk gannaaw we wanna debate and have ideas to change that country ñun ñëpp mënuñoo bokk gom li nga xam ne lu nekk lu ñu tegal loolu lañ war a gom yow am nga loo gom ñu nit am nañ luñ gom Gambian bi su defee riire dinañ liggéey suñ réew mi pour mu jëm kanam thank you waaye Nene fiyaawut
I have a question though for Kexx
waaw ok Nene fiyaawut furu nañ la fii waaye mu ne moom daal mu ngi protect seyam bi te loolu fiyaawut
Kexx dama am a genuine question ngeen baal ma dañ ma put on hold su gaa yi ñëwee dama dem so Kexx the question bu ma la bëgg a laaj mooy naka la tuddaati sax xaaral ma génne li speaker waaw li ma la bëgg a laaj mooy so we kept talking about morality, right? And you kept going to legality. And I know that at some point, la wax nañ la ne xanaa kon yow da nga believe ne everything lu ñoo def in this life should just be guided with legality, and we should never, insert morality in there. And nga ne déedéet waxu loolu, correct? So léegi dama la bëgg a laaj yow, when it comes to a public position, measure the morality pour kooku hold that position? That's what I want to ask you.
In terms of in terms of the issue of position in regards to government officially, what is more important is you look at the legal requirements, whether the person has actually accepted. Morally, it is important in terms of, but here the issue is here, debate more whether Tangara has the legal requirement to be in that position. That is the issue. If it comes to other issues, I can say that let's look at the moral issue in terms of what here. But here we are debating about the legal issue, and that's why my argument is based on in terms of the legal issues here. You know, morally, you can define moral anyhow. That's why even when you face in draft constitution, you will see some lawyers in it has no place in the constitution. People who are constitutional lawyers, moral cannot be part of the constitution. We had Lami Jedabo position in regards to that clause 5B, chapter 5 of the constitution. It has no basis there, because how do you judge in terms of moral requirement for someone? So we must have that
constitution. Them see legality.
No,
I'm asking you.
So moral. Yes.
As a person,
yes.
and then also as a society.
I consider moral requirement. I considered moral in terms of, because at the end of the day, it's what our culture, that's what we believe in. Culture, in the culture how we are brought up before we have all this constitution, we look at moral things when we are doing things.
Yeah, it's not even cultural. That's like a human survival mindset.
Survival.
Yeah.
It's part of us. It's part of us. It's part of our system, how we grow up.
Right.
And it's very, very important when we are doing certain things. But here, what we are discussing is about whether Tangara has the legal requirement as well. But moral
No. You want to see, that's where we have a difference of opinion. You want to confine everything to legality. And we are saying, we are not talking about legality. We are saying the moral. Legality, yes, you are correct. Legally, he can actually serve whatever position he wants to serve, as long as the rule of law holding into account. Why because of if we want to elevate in our society, morality has to also come into place. And you already agreed with us, ne? Yes, because then you don't want to, we shouldn't judge anything or anyone when it comes to public position for morality, for guide you, for you actually you didn't say that. You are not objecting to that idea, right? Objection to that idea. You actually believe that morality should guide us. Now, based on that, yan moral standards lan nit ak ak society ñun lan lañ wara hold pour ñi nga xamne ñom ñoy hold the public position, because Kexx, I know you know this is very important for ñu mëna develop dekk morality. We cannot just go with legally, because legally we already know also the legal system could be flawed. Yang nga gis but the legal system, sometimes it could be delayed. All this, all these organizations and all these committees being set up and all that, they're all slow. None of them has come into effect. It's been 8 years. Been victim, I'm a good justice in Gambia, right? So then morally, right? I'm saying, if we had moral guidance, Adama Barrow do even allow ñi nga xamne ñu ngi won ci place Yaya Jammeh bi ci di jappalé Yaya Jammeh or di liggéey ci Yaya Jammeh for a long period of time, or at least for a period bi nga xamne ci la def most of the atrocities, and they all knew about it and they continued, right? Because morally, their moral guidance, right? What do align ak ñun fi nga xamne fofu lañ bëgg elevate pour yobu Gambia next republic fu wara dem. So initially, we didn't want to hire any of them, period. Because there are enough people that are competent, that are smart, that they could be put on the test. You test them, deliver. If they can't, you get rid of them. But you rotate, you allow other people. But they keep rotating the same people that have already failed the moral test. And that's why we are still kind of bankrupt society. So, what should be our guidance when it comes to that holding public office? Because until we address this part,
that's what I'm saying. If you want to do that, it has to be something, it has to be a requirement in our system. When you just want to say it openly, even me, I say it here, it is important. You say that it is important. Since it's not in our governance system that morals are important, but we concentrate on the legal issues, then we will only look at it on the legal basis, because that's what is required. When you go to the parliament, they say that, okay, we need an ombudsman officer. They don't look at what is the person's social life, what is his moral behavior in society, what is his attitude. When it came to the National Assembly, what they will look at, the qualification that is required for somebody to be an ombudsman officer. This is what is going on, and this is the person who will preside over all the violations of fundamental rights.
You're saying because it's not in the Constitution, therefore you do not
unless we push it. You said why we should. I said unless we push it, there, but when we want to cement it in terms of our governance system, it is something that doesn't exist. And things that doesn't exist, you cannot people hold accountable to it. I don't know what actually you are trying to understand me. That's what I'm saying.
No,
but for me,
I understand you. But do you agree that we should actually...
moral requirements are very important in terms of our governance system. But since it's not there, can we hold somebody accountable for that? That's my argument here.
No, because then if it's morally, if you just judge it from if you say that, okay, we need to put it in our documentation, that means you are going to legality. Then it's no longer a human thing. You are going back, you are going to the law and legality, right? So do space.
I mean, when you talk about the enforcement, you are talking about the enforcement here.
No. Because ñom ñaar it's not mutually exclusive. So basically, lima explain moy yow so fekkene dañ ne okay da nga bëgg ñun moral yi nga xamne mom la ñoo wax ni jël ko def ko legality mu nekk legal, then therefore ñun duñ amati any moral opinions.
All right, now let's look at this in this angle. People were working for Germany, and based on their moral belief,
if you're tired of hearing us, okay,
they decided to quit. But when they quit, what was the outcome of them quitting? So we need to understand that the system that we were in at that time, whether quitting was the best option for other people. We have seen people who quitted and they end of life losing their life because Jammeh doesn't trust that if I leave these people to go, he might end up killing them. So people might have the moral. I'm just telling you. So how you give subjective? It can be subjective. Morally, you must have the intention that, okay, I want to quit because morally it's not accepted for me. But what is the consequence behind that if I have to? We have seen people who quitted here and they were shot at their doors or their car were burned, and they allege that they had an accident. So after seeing that, will you have the fit, to say that, okay, because of my moral principle. So we need to understand the circumstances in which those people were. So moral is subjective. So you can have the moral.
Okay, and when it comes to Tangara, now let's go back to Tangara, and you bring up a good point there. But the excuse you just gave, when it comes to Tangara, it doesn't apply. Tangara was in the West. Tangara, if he wanted to leave Jammeh, he could have left Jammeh, but he decided to not go because mom position am ak selfish interest on top. So mom moral guidance principle nekut fa period. So su nekut in a circumstance bo xamne koku dafa nek ci White House bi or State House bi dafa liggéey, so Barrow Yaya Jammeh mu kidnap ko or mu hold ko hostage and all these things, which we can say that maybe few of them had not feel they feared for their life and they stayed, but at least affaire bi tangé figure out nañ a way ñu génn fa. But in this circumstance ki nga wax ni Tangara, he had the freedom to leave if he wanted to, but he decided to stay because moral Sami, principle Sami, mom, he didn't have it in check, right? Because selfish interest surpass mom, linga hamne mo corona guide. Anyway, I digress, but I just wanted to hear you, but it seems like you're not answering that part. It's fine.
No, more like Kexx question, man. Kexx.
Manjok Mune, it's not subjective, it's actually relative, which is a great point. It's relative to what we want to, if we want to get to a better, if we want to build a better country.
Absolutely. It's better when we want to have a better country. But since
the Uncle Halifa, and my pushback, the Uncle Halifa, amut qualifications pour muna jël job si government because Barrow offer a job. The qualification.
Yes.
So, yolan nga fogg na mota jëlut job bi
based on his principles. Maybe.
No, not just only principles. Has to be morals also. And not only that. Okay. Did you this question might be a bit pushed. It's only these two questions before I, carry on. You don't believe when a Barrow now watch after 3 years?
Absolutely. I have read so many things about that. That was the agreement that he has with the Gambian, and it is binding because when you go to IEC, you will find it there. The Barrow Lumwahe, see manifesto was I Adam Barrow backed by six political parties, hereby declare myself as the presidential candidate for the coalition 2016 for a period of 3 years as a transition. That was what is binding at IEC. So, and I have said that on several platforms that Barrow should honor that. It's a binding, it's an agreement between him and the Gambian people. So whether they sign it or not, that's the agreement that we had, and that's why we voted for him. I have said that on several occasions. And that position has never changed.
But Balal Maki, but is that agreement legally binding? Can it be challenged in court?
Absolutely, we didn't test it, and this is why, and I said it on many platforms. I said that there are verbal agreements that have been challenged in courts, and people have there was a verdict on it. There are written agreements that are challenged in court. People have verdict on it, but we didn't go beyond to check our court system and see whether we could have a victory over those things or not. If we have tested, then it will be a precedent here.
So it was just to test it. It's not like because there are certain things it's legally binding. It's legally binding, and you can take it to court. But this was one of the things that we were supposed to test. It's not like you can tell categorically clear that it can be taken to court. So that's a gray area, Kexx.
Yes. No, that's what I'm saying. But there are verbal agreement that people have taken to court, and since it could be established in court that 2 or 3 people have witnessed it, and they have verdict. What is the outcome of the verdict? So we could have. The Gambia civil society could have pushed the whole issue of the qualification. Because it was binding, it was presented before a chairman, a competent institution, an independent institution, and Barrow signed it, and it was there. So whether the coalition partners have did that, no. But our candidate was Barrow, and that's what Barrow convinced with the electorate to vote for him. So we could have hold him accountable to his word and what he had presented to the IEC chairman. But we didn't go beyond that. We all just stood and said that, okay,
we could have. Yeah, I see what you're saying. There's been a case in the past in Gambia that was tested, right? That was tried, basically. Why I'm not cool like this on bala black di ñew mu ne te xamna légui té ñu bayila nak bala sa jabar di ñu méré bëgguñ mu méré ñu parce que sey bu es la nakal su dat am na ko laajte ci suuf mu ne Uncle Halifa dañ ko offer on opposition nga ne it was because of what? Can you answer that?
Principles.
Wow. Yes. Because of his principles. But principles equals to morals. Right. So principles and morals are the same thing. So that's what Kineka Siron Kokolo Lamneka de Mune yo dangane Uncle Halifa Julubli gave it because of his principles. Right, so
yes,
you see,
what was his position in regards to when it happens? Halifa was very clear because one of his book he mentioned it there why he declined the position that Jammeh offers him.
Halifa is a mentor to you. Wow. Madana quickly, Rasta. Good point to be. Wow, Kineka Sisufamna Lila Buga drive to. And quickly, Halifa is your mentor and all of us, right? And amutin ko hamne democratically munga wahne yo ya gina like the mindset than Halifa, right? So Halifa so me benga hamne mom legally muno na jël liggéey bobu but his principles allow ko to mu jël that job, right? Now that's also that lol mu nge wane ñun mu nge reflect on ñun liñ wax right now ne it is very crucial, it's relative comme ni Manjok wax pour ne ñi allow some principles yi mu ñoo guide tamit in this lifetime, not just legality. And because of those principles moo tax ñu ngi challenge the Commonwealth pour buñ jël ku mel ni comme Tangara, because if we don't, that means ne ñu ngi allow ñu ngi get blinded by legality and nekkuñ di allow principles pour mu guide you through ñu ñëpp fu ñu war a elevate to a next level. Even Gambian standards, forget about Commonwealth, what we are doing for them, but even for Gambia, because right now what we show in Barrow's administration is you could do whatever you want to do up to the last hour, right? As long as amul benn institution bi nga xam ne legally find la naka guilty, then war nga muna elevate sa life anywhere. Even if it means that am na many moral things you have you nga involved on which were wrong fundamentally. So ñun ñu ngi set suñ own yardstick, suñ own instead of being a mediocre country, which we are right now, Kexx, if we're being honest, because even so in your debaters are coming to Kolorwa Akip, they are taking it to sentiments instead of debating on issues and the facts. You see what I'm saying? So folk you elevate Kexx And that's what we are trying to do, to hold Tangara accountable, not just for Tangara, not just for the Commonwealth, but to show every Gambian citizen that when you act, when you do something, your accountability will meet you in the future. And that's what we are doing. I don't know if you agree. If you don't agree, it's still fine. Now, if you be elected, do my change mind.
All right. So I will give you an example. I spoke to somebody who was, I will not mention the person's name, but I will tell you that. And we had a conversation in regards to what Ajame was doing, and we were sitting in Parliament, and we were discussing about some issues, and we had a conversation. He told me that, my wish was not to work on the Jammeh regime, but I have no choice. I have a family to feed, and and this is a job that I could have taken to feed my family, and it was between my family's survival and me decline and my family go hunger. These are the two options that were left in the table. When I look back my family and I look at that I have no source of income and working for my country under a Jammeh regime would have given me this thing. So how would you actually judge those type of people to say that, okay, morally it is? So sometimes it's just beyond moral requirements and other things. Sometimes it's beyond life and death. Whether I take this or I die. These are the two. Maybe you had the opportunity to flee the country. This person didn't have the opportunity to flee the country and have another job where he can survive his family. And these are the options. So we need to look this beyond the scope of just like, okay, morally everybody could have quit and just left. It's beyond that thing. Maybe it is easy for you to quit and run away. Maybe you have the financial muscles and other things. Others, they could not. So these are issues you have they are there. So you need to understand all those things factors. So we cannot just narrow down to the factors that we think of and we just base it there. Khalifa was very clear in terms of what Jammeh offered him. He said that he cannot work in a government that went back behind the people and take over the country. That was his position, that it was not the will of the people that put Jammeh there. Jammeh went and stood the power by the barrel of the gun, and he cannot work with that type of government. Is that what Suleiman or Kausu's position in regards to certain issues might differ? Others even castigated Khalifa that Jammeh take a coup d'etat for Doi people to come in. This was Doi's government, and Doi's members, some of them even left PDOIs. They said that because the coup d'etat was meant for Doi, because by that time the vast majority of the young people were actually seeing Doi as the solution. So they said that Jawara was overstayed and there was rampant corruption and this thing. So the coup d'etat was meant
sentiments, but
I'm not
after you may sitting. General Egalat, I'm not watching.
We are going to take a leave of you. But seri chebumala jox moy man feel na ne our mission has been accomplished.
Yeah.
Kexx japa nga fi japa ñu japa fi japa, but one thing I know for a fact, Moina, you came to this platform and you did get educated, even if you don't want to admit you have been educated about Tangara.
I just want to confirm that
please respect that. What do I so say Gambian Tiragal do I put they live in government? Doi people are very smart and they are all about, they follow the facts. One thing I know you will do, even if you don't admit it right now, Moine, because you were talking about 2016. When it comes to Tangara, 2016 is not what we're talking about. We're talking about when Jammeh was in the middle of the dictatorship. Kexx, knowing how smart you are, after investigative skills you have. So jele alhurante jo hamane dina ne Kexx dina ne ko xam nga duma ñom tukulor ak ñom juka hejna dina len difinde way ko limu wax ni harama dem research ko de even so jappé fi nga jappa man feel na ne tay you were educated by your own Doi brother man lolu doy na ma sili. Thank you very much and we really appreciate the fact ne ñoo nga fi te ñun sax nanguñ ken sagal suñu platform nanguñ ken do tuti lola comment section bi nak ku nekk lu ne nga wax ko way ñun so ñu bi nga xamé ne juka mëna indi juka protected you very well. And even man, at some point, I was a little bit testy. Juka put me in my place. So, thank you very much for, and we'll take a leave of you. You know, listen, we continue. jërëjëf.
No, thank you.
Kexx,
Thank you very
bye,
much.
bye, good night,
Thank you very
bye.
much, everybody. I'm so
Kexx
grateful.
sonn na tey
Thank you, brother Jam. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sisters.
Jambar la.
waxal nag suma jabar mu defal la tii ak xonni balaa ngaa tëdd.
Mane, hadi bye. Kexx is going, bye.
All right, thank you guys. I'm so grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling.
Waaw. Kexx sonn na ñaxa na sonn na si yéen. No.
Juga Cissé.
Yéen a tax
waaye Serigne wax de.
Rasta yow moom duma la doon may tuuti sa pour nga wax yow man moom dama bëggoon bul wax sa.
No, why don't you because people like Kia, I have a high respect for him. But isn't that so bokeh si certain political party bu melni doy. Understand? Because man right now, tay coach, brother coach, limu wax yeb tay man lo rek la buga remember. Understand? Because reason ata. Yaa ngi gis coach lim fi wax yeb tay ku deglu part bobu rek do am ben lifin because reason ata ba all time because Kexx si political party bobu la joge. Te man I have big respect for that political party. Bokuma si political party, but I have big respect for them since in the 80s. Understand? So gis nga so bokke si political party platform si dafa am da nga wara xam ñu nga yena yu nga wara defend ak yow wara defend because gis nga right now ñun li ñoo def ni not just for Gambia. This is the whole Africa, the Gen Z generation. Ñun dañ bëgg clean up. Ñun we don't want anything to do with anybody who come you are under dictator or helping a dictator or this and that, this corrupt and all these things. Ñun we want clean up. So work as a political party, I'm very careful. Understand nga? So I speak on certain things. Yo, ko xamne mu ngi ñëw jóge sa own political party, ko xamne, kenn du ko doubt. Amul man de xawma ben Gambian buy doubt loolu, coach in a sense. Waaye ñu ngi la tegal evidence. Moo tax ma push back all the way to Barrow 3 years. Different topic la woon. Dafa am lu ma doon bugg a jëlee si moom. Understand nga loolu tax ma push ba foofu. But soo bokkee si political party da ngaa bàyyi sa xel. Because ku ñëpp tufli kooku tooy. So ku ñëpp di tufli déedéet kooku yow bul xalaat sax ne da nga xalaat defend ko o ne nii o ne lim. No. Based on even legality alone, pour man, qualify, dafa mel ni criminal, sa pour sa, could have every kind of criminal. For jógee si, you retire, dem college, dem school or college, university, kayit, benn ko ñëw. Kooku su ñëwee taxaw ak qualification am duñ ko def president because criminal record la.
I guess Kexx
I smoke brother I respect him very much to be honest. Ma bàyyi keneen ñëw daal.
ñu may Serigne Keita. Yeah, doy lim nekk di wax not doy ma ne ko doy sax Kexx lim nekk di téye daal mooy Kexx daal mu ne sa légalité bi la ma ne ko sa mindset bala nañ dem.
Asalaamaaleykum wa rahmatulah wa barakaatu.
Aleykum salaam. Kexx du
nuyu naa leen naka ngeen def. Alhamdulillah.
Why Jobis be nice.
Right?
Yeah, bismillah. Name oil bismillah.
Thank you. Allah baraka. Allah kachawe kumari ma.
Antitukulo mom dem na. Okay, dunna.
Allah kachawe kumari ma kembe mbala moy kan and then I'm getting educated. Mbe kumakangulu fanantaka. Talking about Tangara. Ndi amira bi Gambia dingolu kono mo kilim manyan na kalo fam ka Tangara support. I have my reason and I have evidence. Ngatan na wato sita mbabo ndila dunia be haje Tangara. That was just last year. I had a meeting with him here in Spain, Madrid here. And then they didn't allow me to record the meeting, but unfortunately one of my colleagues had been able to record 38 minutes of the conversation that we had on that day. I was so disappointed, and then in fact, walunga katalungo de famila fitanna Gambia nationality from sendi la kabo Gambia di ya from fereng, because the type of people na men soto nyato comme albeni morality ni men kacha kanteng, and then I saw that they don't even have it, they don't even care. Understanding coming for it. So for that being the issue, mbali tentu lambali jaila manna kana diam back about political la ko bill and force dati, joint and in platform, and then I see that it's a great platform ngamol diam kamo mo jameni yalonko wol mum be mun tala ro modelol to crawl signolu nene understand and all of you kadi nyolu mbali tentu lambali jaila c'est même fono doron comme nene tata lado fanam kachaka membe tending Gambia dingol la attitude la mankutol la wato dolla victimol men ben na banko kan memu Gambia bankoti for now, for how many years now imela nyanto soto wala mela justice soto bari kana Gambia dingol moy bi of victimol wala mol men fata wala fani ka justify nyameng akante bala fa back wala nanko na banko tita. So but I believe that people like you atul men yalonko alkana bi ka hakilol susa nyola alkala hakilol kafu nyola ka Gambia dingol educate mo ngamela nyanta continue because na banko nyanta ka bondile ay bondi bulol kono bulol men yalonko lelbe noring isaje nga moral institutional soto meaning na felsoto na banko ka me yalon ko be kala daji ko ni kulu nyimmalo te because aketa nyaw nyarandi nyama ani Gambia ani ngamol lel soto me yalon ko be karanta nan Cambridge le walla karanta dawdaran dinnam walla nga nafulol soto na banko ka me yalon ko sangoni banko temalem bar ninna daji ko na morality ningol mambete adron we are doomed. So this is exactly what is affecting our country. So lafira mem volale wala ko ala baraka bake na sister solo and brother solo to mbedi am kanja. So inshallah vanam ben platform on you follow lale katra la kacha dum ben dalu na la kacha jamal kon and I promised ko inshallah Tangara that conversation na men soto and then I blondi menkeje and then I call menike mba bondira la dunia kono mobe nyaba jal fana very soon.
Yeah, brother, thank you so much. You said something. You said you have something on Tangara lo hamne is actually wrong, or like you have something on tape for Tangara?
Yeah, it is on record. Yeah.
Can you tell us what that is, or you want to keep it private for now?
I can summarize it.
Okay.
That was a meeting we have with Tangara. All right,
okay.
Our community here. You know what I'm saying? So they invited us, and then I started recording the meeting because I think it should be like we are in a civilized society, and then it should be like whatever he is going to say is going to base on fact. It's not going to base on fooling people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they didn't allow me on that very day to record that meeting. But one of my colleagues beside me, he took his phone and recorded 38 minutes of the conversation, and then he passed it over to me. You know what I'm saying? And that meeting, it was like, we were questioning about the problem that we are having in our airport. You know what I'm saying? The freedom.
Go ahead.
The family men yalon ko molbe kole apol men takikan. Ya understand during the deportation na airport to mol futata je ya understand ka kodol men collect mol buli kadum min tole ku jamalu, and then at la respond ka kementi, and then another ka mol men fana implicate o kol nyin kono, and then ka government fan implicate kol nyin kono ya understand wala at nante nki joye mfara, and then I have it on record. Yeah, understand. And this is not the first time now for Nkaiko Membatuna, because everything is timing. Membatuna Alfana Wato Sitanga release. Just because of I had 2-3 advice from people that I know, well at in the farm, because I am all men told for all mention, well at in the farm ma audio release bring. Yeah, understanding coming for. So people like him, Nte Amotako, Gambianol nyanta lon na le kende ke mo sifaji male be na society kon men yalon ko nem fulol lel katarela men yalon ko e mantara fon frende mira kan naman ke la posolti men yalon ko e mantara fon frende mira naman ke itol fon la own selfish interest we botro ne noma no society kon on then those people Gambianol nyanta ka fula nyomale nge fish out nge bondike ngatande dunia la kon betenne fana or listen until they change their moral attitude mol fana manyan na ke da ha because wodro na ben na banko sambal so ala baraka ya kabo endinya ya
so brother man I really want to know what it is. Maybe if you want to communicate with us later, because hamga dangane ning wato sita, but I feel like wato sita now. So I don't know. Can you send us can you send me a message, or any one of us on this platform? See, Sister Sifi, let's communicate with you after, because really we would like to know what it is, especially if it has something to do with our country and Gambians. You know what I mean? Especially those abroad. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
So len ame express lane dugal len ma fa man ma am 2 minutes ma wacha please.
Ade yo da nga duga sa yo yaay dugal.
No dafa am lu ma def billahi lu ma def tan ko ma yaga
yo dugal.
Dede job is go ahead waxal li nga bëgg a wax yëpp yaga nga fi waxal yëpp.
No, actually may len ma just 3 minutes li am moy
all the time you need. You have all the time you need.
No, Lee is a fight. It's a fight, and one must get ready for. And you must come in without like hanging out behind somebody, because in Barros, you find they are very tactical, because the yaga dictatorship. Adama doesn't know anything about this. Ñu umba Adama mooy waral wax ji ndóog ñii dañ yàgg ci dictatorship ba pare ñoom dañ pare xam nañ lii ñëw si kanam pour ñoom. They got way to defend themselves te they got exit strategy as well, because ñoom xam nañ fu ñoo dem after su fekkee serious government ñëw na ndig bi Jammeh ñëw demee ba léegi serious government serious nit sax nekkut si Adama Barrow ku bugg a réew mi sax nekkut fa nde ku bugg a Gambia du mel ni Adama Tangara képp kuy wax si moom nekk foofu di oye boppam ne am nga looy against that Barrow's government mu ngi mel ni rek képp ku nekk si ñoom am nañ ci government bi koo xamante ne am na lum ko ameel pour on social media mu dugg ci biir di attaque ñu mel ni Jobis ba pare dugg ci seen programme yi nga xamante ne is very 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 viable programme boo xamante ne yaa ngi fi am ñoo xamante ne xeex nañ the previous like struggle nga dugg ci biir buga leena dominer yow keena comme li boy bobu ne xawma Kexx lam tuda xawma like meaning ne amna ñu bëgg disrespect fi sisters yi da ngeen am time da ngeen you guys are very luma ko mëna way dama leen mëna oye sa da ngeen jàng also way amna leneen lo leen warona mëna def lu utek tok fi ni di defend Gambia way da ngeen ko def pour gis ne seen chammeñi mutuñ seen chammeñi ay tapet lañ li ta ngeen tok fi do leen allow someone tam digan hari somewhere mu ñëw ngeen war a am seen conversation bi mu ñëw di ko daaji ngeen di passé di jàllale mu ñëw di ko yaaxa déglukat yi di déglu somehow di feel like ne yéen you are hypocrisy meaning ne kon Tangara is okay yéen la Kexx lim def is very undone meaning ne yéen li ngeen toog fii nii yëpp is useless ñun duñ jël loolu leen so xeex bii nii ñu nekk back home ak Adama Barrow ñu ngi use seen resources ñoom tamit jënda ñu mel ni somehow ñeena pour su yu mel ni amee ñu dugg si biir di daaji that is not right somebody with a am sa right common sense ngay toog ne da ngaa jéem a defend ku mel ni Tangara he is dirty li Tangara jagoo ci wax duma ko wax ci seen kanam because am na ñu xamante ne seexuma ko ak ñoom du seexal sax waaye fii lu ma ne dama war a wax seen kanam comme like lu ma war a mun a toog man comfortably di wax kanay Tangara is a dirty person very dirty képp ku la baak o di la jéem a defend ni yow la mel ci tilim ci réew mi ñi xam loolu leen te man bugguma jëflante kooku moo tax ma xaar be kii wàcca ndik man this guy xam naa ne mu ngi nekk ci fence bi ayda mu ngi bugga I don't know képp ku dul maa di jubaate indi Gambia man munuma laa déglu ak moromam ndikee bi boo ci nekkee danga ci nekk all the way ñam anything like Barrow of any nature xamal ne nekkul koo xamante ne mu ngi ine Gambia bi lu baax ñi ñëpp a tilim ñoom ñëpp a tilim man xamal naa ko seen bopp diñ ma call da xam nañ ko diñ négocier ak man xam nañ ko ndik am na lu ma gis ba pare te loolu dafa doy pour ma toog melkaana bi ma mel ni le ci wàllilu yoo xamante ni xëy na ñi ngi foog ne Yaya Jammeh rek ko fi doon def déedéet ñoom ñi ngay def lu gën a bon loolu leen ak bépp anam boo leen jëloon Jammeh tegee ko bor lu ko ëpp mu ngi si biir ndax this government only Yaya Jammeh is missing moo fa missing ñoom ñëpp ñu ngi fa waat toog fa continuer di def lu ñoo def yu tilim yi ñoo def ci wàlli sàcc lubal alal ak lu ko nuru xanaa ñun dañ dof please sister yi da ngeen am time seen time dafa very useful te dafa worth a lot soo leen amati yu mel nii broda yi dugga si bugga leen a distract ou bugga jàppale somehow certain culprits yi leen ni le please waxtaan leen ak ñoom ci suuf comme no leen ko ooyee man ci kaw laa dee waxtaan ak ñoom man ni ngeen ma dégg ci struggle bi musuma wax ci suuf man musuma wax ci suuf suma life la du life bu ma mean life TikTok no my whole entire life I don't talk on the ground man lépp lu ma mënta wax jàkkaarloo yow su ma la bàyyee ci téléphone boobu leen oo ci yoon bi mënatuma koo wax doon man ak yow xamatuma sa noo tudda that's my life te noonu laa koy dundee ba mu jeex ñii liñ pare mooy jël dëkk bi di ñu minimize di ñu babysit di leen di contrôle ba ngeen màgget ñi màgget ñoom ànd ak seen doom yi ak ci jàmm ak salaam ñun ñu continuer di ndool diñ ko def xeex bi dafa aaga foo xamante ne gat sa lam laaj amul benn compromise amul benn wax bu neex amul nothing amul benn harito because tilim na boo ma laalee dang maa rey man tamit su ma amee time dinaa meg so ne nga jógee fa Barrow daf ñu jël nañu xeex leen Yaya Jammeh maa ngi koo dégga ñu xeex Yaya Jammeh ba mu toog mu ñëw toog ne moom kenn du ko xeex who the hell is Adama Barrow ba kenn ñun duñ fight pour mu génn fa dineen xeex nga génn si réew mi comme ni ñu jëlee woon ñi faytal la ngeen ma toppoon ay thousands ak sa xariti di ma wax thank you ngeen ñëw def lu gën a bon Yaya Jammeh diñ leen ko bàyyee lu leen bëgg a ngeen def su fekkee ne xeex bi yéen ñii ànd ak man oo ñu maa déglu da ngeen foog ne dafa easy kon man ak yéen ute nañ jëlin te man ak yéen ute nañ damin loolu laa am pour jox leen bye bye.
Thank you Jobis lii mooy démocratie xam nga ñëw nga wax sa xelaat ñu nangul la ko suñu amee luñ si dibong dañ ko dibong the same thing as Kexx te gisewu ma ne liñ defa Kexx waste time la parce que waxtaan nañ ku nekk dafa am sa déggin ñi nga xam ne ñoom suñu lu ñuy wax lañ gëm ñoom gën nañ cité ñi nga xam ne Kexx li mu waxoon lañ gëm ñoom gën nañ cité ñi nga xam ne nag ñu ngi nekkoon si digg bi xamuñ fan la ñuy téye ñoom foog naa man soo ma laajee daal am na ñu bari ñu conflit te man soo ma laajee loolu moo nekk njëriñu conversation bi it's not because of ñi nga xam ne already téye nañ fi ñu téye comme Kexx bi muy egg fii man daf ma leeroon nañ ne mënuñoo change maanaam because dafa toog magi boppam la dafa toog mu analyse mbir mi mu assess mbir mi yëpp moom ni ñu ko gisee noonu la ko bugg a dundee te ñun duñ ko mun a change waaye tamit du tax ñun li nga xam ne loolu lañ bëgg a wax ak moom mu am that conversation open dialogue boobu bi nga xam ne am na ñu bari ñoo xam ne ñu ngi toog si side bi xamuñ exactly ban side la ñoo àndal ak lan la ñoo góom lan lañ du góom ñun ñooñu lañ doon waxal du nekkul sax Kexx boo ñu dégloo moo tax ku nekk nga doon téye fi nga doon téye di caw mbir mi so raayuñ ko dañ ko jox gëddam rek mooy démocratie bi ñuy laajte comme yow li nga ñëw rek nga wax nga sa xalaat man tamit wax naa suma xalaat so that's what it is. That's the democracy.
Jukama ñëw. Tey sama yaram daa tàng. It was very very important ne coach ñëw na si platform bi tey and stayed as long as he did. Because so say to coach is very busy nowadays. For the people, by the people, sir, coach do for the yaga. Coach the time bim jël si platform bi nii. It has cemented the fact now we are on the right side of history. The naysayers can say all they want. Why do guys need them to jegeñ coach? So what I am going to implore all of you, comme coach lem wax rek, nit ko su fekkee ne gëm nga dara. Soo gëmee dara jàppal fi nga jàpp rek ñun lii ñëwuñ fii because ñu ngi jéem a defante ak ñi defante ak ñale. That's not why we are here. We are here because we know for a fact that Tangara is not capable of holding an office that is about human rights, that is about democracy, because of the fact that he aided and abetted Yaya Jammeh, who disappeared, who killed, who maimed, who tortured and terrorized Gambians for 22 years. There is no ifs and buts about that. Koku neka na nit ko xamne ñun dañ feel ne warta neka ci secretariat bi. Te in case Tangara wins this position, Teman, I will say this on my wall. Dama decide ne Tangara dina post about him every day. Tomorrow my post is going to be, even if he wins this job, he will know that there are many Gambians who didn't want him to have it. And for me, that is enough. Su fekkee ne Tangara bi mu demee seeking this job ñun ñëpp toog nañ ñu ne munuñ ci dara dañoo fol suñ loxo yi kon dinaa toog suma conscience will not be clear. Bi ñoo xeex Yaya Jammeh all those years juka, all of us, at some point di nga toog ne xeex bi kañ la moo jeex, but we never thought about giving up. We never thought about giving up. And the reason why we did that is because we believed in what we were fighting for. The reason why we're still fighting is because Yaya Jammeh, we fought for him to go only to plant a guy who bring the same enablers, who stand to be president someday. Because when the vice president died, Juka, you are my witness. Feel fi joy, maneka di joy. Every time I was crying, I was depressed because I was saying ne Adama Barrow ak luma ko bañ maa ngi ñaan Yàlla bu ko dara jot so that Fabakary Tombong Jatta doesn't become president of the Gambia. So if you have values and you have principles, yow doo gis kenn gannaaw yoo sa values ak sa principles yooyu. Su fekkee ne nit dëgg nga danga taxaw si dëgg doo gis dara gannaaw sa dëgg. You know, owning your truth is something that is very, very important in a human being. If you believe this is your truth, you will die to go into your grave knowing that you stood by your truth. If you go by sentiment, then you will sit there sometimes and say, faral na diw sangam de, why waruma ko na faral? Why lima def ni man suma ko xam na ne bon na why? So gisee maa koy faral. I can relate to this person. Because man tamit kooku fi mu nekkoon maa ngi fa woon. So di nga nekk di lifin sa boppa. Léegi ñi nga xam ne ñooñu ñu ngi taxaw ñu ngi consistent di leen gisee neneen lu dul noonu. Because ñooñu what they are capable of, you are not capable of that. Doomi Adama di nga toog nga moytu. Waaye moytu taxul nga ragal kenn. Moytu nga toog ngay moytu ni ndike bugguloo sew, bugguloo ñàkk a fayda taxul nga ragal kenn. ñun nag ku ci gën a dëgër boppa nga ne kii la affaire Tangara bii dañ ko jàppa fiñ ko jàppa. Nobody can silence us. Nobody can intimidate us no matter what they write or say. This is not about personalities. It's not about Juka. It's not about Nene. It's not about Unifineka, any one of us. No. This is what about what we believe. This is about what we believe. Suñ dëgg lañ nekk te dañ am evidence. Nekkul ne dañoo toog pour géttan doomi jàmbur. Some of us, even though we don't tout our religion, we pray 5 times a day. Man li ma ragal si àddina mooy ma tooñ nit. Tooñ nit moom laa ragal because dama dee wax ne man su ma tooñee nit su ma julli lu maa njëriñ. Waaye Tangara moo ñu tooñ. Tangara more to citizens of the Gambia. Imam Babali told me something one time when we were during the struggle. Manako Imam muna manako teyde mangi or dafa def dama saga Yaya Jammeh muna ma dom muna ma rawal xam nga Imam muna rawal muna defalo dara lu bon ndekte kii nit la koo xam ne mu ngi rey nit ñi di def lu bon si Gambia bi loo ko wax loo ko def So mu ne ma soo lifini su na neexee sa nga fay so bés boobu ma fay bor bi because dama saaga. But Imam told me I had every right to be angry at him that way. So let's keep on fighting. Let's keep on doing what we believe in. And don't worry about what other people say. No, koo xam ne gëmul dara kooku dafa toog rek te léegi-léeg da ngaa gis nit ji foog ne dafa am doole. Non, du doole. Sañ ak am fayda du benn. Mun ngaa sañ nga wax lu la neex waxi daanu sareet loolu sa affaire la. So that is different from koo xam ne dafa déggu. Somebody like Coach Passenger Bajaw su waxee dama dee toog fii ma ne wow, I want to be like him. I am so glad I am on the same side of history with somebody so credible. Man loolu moo ma daaneel. Thank you, Juka.
You're welcome, Tukulon. You may foog naa black moo jiitu sax suñu anti bi.
ma ne ko thank you gentleman jërëjëf.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Na ngeen def Kexx moom Kexx bëggoon naa ko laajte question waaye dafa tombé ne time was up for him to go anyway. Comme man lu ma koy di wax rek when it comes to Tangara moom man I will not support him by any means because morally and ethically he doesn't stand a chance to get like pour mu am position boobu noonu understand nga. So Hole, I don't know what position he was working during Jammeh's time, but I can certainly tell you, like, the position in this foreign affairs, all the years before spend, Kexx ban achievement, ban improvement, like in the Gambia, is in foreign relations with other countries. Ban setting like definitely in Gambia, the Gambia is in foreign policy because so Hole, every country around the world, a certain foreign policy, I'm not still based around. Understand nga? But Gambia is the only country, Gambia is the only country in the world munuñ la wax suñ foreign policy si li leen ko based di mooy Gambia's foreign policy. Understand nga? Because Gambia amuñ any foreign policy. Te moom being at the Minister of Foreign Affairs, being the Minister of Foreign Affairs himself, it would bring improvement in the foreign policy of the Gambia and foreign relations of the Gambia with other countries. Gambia is one of the respected countries around the world, and that is so sad to say, but because so these people that are representing us as authorities, the way they are welcomed by other countries, the way they are welcome is totally different. Because we have is it going forward or going back because people like him, they are just opportunists. They're just there like nañ xaar gis photo rek dañ mel ay weñ rek nañ xaar gis photo rek ñu taxafa si woowee rek ñu naaw ñoom ñëpp noonu lañ moom la woo Wulu Kaban Ismaila join the list. Dirimo Sabali ñoom ñëpp la they are all like that, so man harama ema ko foofu rek.
Thank you Black. ñu may anti Fatou waaye lii kii naa la ndax xale ñoo jël sa phone bi kii naa la ndax xale ñoo jël sa phone bi naa du dee egg si TikTok bi de nag si suuf la dee nekk
egg dama xale yi request yi
ban xale moo jël téléphone yi naa bi xaaral ma call Kira